Let's talk about bucket lists.
Play the theme music. Hello and welcome to this episode of Tripology. I'm Alan and I'm here with the ever prospective Adam.
Good afternoon, my friend. How are you? I'm very relaxed today.
I'm glad you're relaxed.
Can you see from my posture?
Yeah, I can. You're positively exuding relaxation through every fibre of your being. I like it when you're like this. I feel like we have an interesting dynamic as a co-host. I'm wound up tight like a pack of muffins. You're relaxed and chilled. And you're very prospective, aren't you? That's what I think about you.
Yeah, go on. I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Yeah, let me segue in something that we want to talk about. Perspective. I think you think forward a lot, you plan a lot, you think about the future.
To my own detriment.
I want to talk about a kind of future planning which really pervades the travel industry.
Okay, so exists within the context of travel.
Yeah, exists within the context of travel. It's the bucket list.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, we've got some pretty strong opinions, perhaps.
I have strong opinions about a lot, and bucket list is one of the things what I have a strong opinion about. Bucket list. To kick the bucket.
Yeah.
To die.
To die.
To have one's own life finish.
Mm-hmm.
What should you do before that happens? A list of things to do before you die.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them for a lot of people are travel related.
They are. It is a cliche, of course.
It is.
To have a bucket list. And you tend to have some pretty generic answers on there.
You do. And I am all for
Yeah.
traveling with a purpose.
Yeah.
I'm all for like going traveling for a specific reason.
Yeah.
To learn about religion, to learn about
Yeah, all right, we get it, Alan.
to learn about language, to learn about food, right? All these different things could be reasons why you go traveling.
Yeah.
I've met some people. I met someone in the hostel just the other day.
Okay.
They had a bucket list. The
Yeah.
reason, the purpose for their travel was to tick off items on their bucket list.
Oh, I mean, you can see from my reaction if you go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/tripologypodcast.
We've got video available on Spotify now.
Yeah, if you're watching on your phone on the train, then you'll know what my reaction looked like. And I did a bit of a screw face.
Yeah.
But the reason is because I fail to believe that there are many people listening to this podcast now that would encourage travel just for the purpose of ticking something off a list.
Yeah. I think there's a stigma about the idea of ticking something off.
Yeah.
That said, I do think bucket lists can be bespoke.
Sure.
So you're cultivating a list which speaks to you individualistically as a human being. And then are you really just ticking it off? It's a list.
Yeah.
But, it can be individualistic.
It can. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a literal list. I do think in simple terms, it can just be things you want to achieve in your life and writing those down in a list and, then ticking them off. I don't think it's inherently a bad thing.
No, it can be of benefit, I think. So they're like, I want to visit the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
Go to the Taj Mahal while you're in India, that's ticked off, but then have a trip round India, experiencing India. That's the correct way to utilize a bucket list, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the highlights of my trip are very rarely the thing that I went to see in, at its origin. The thing that I kind of pinned all my hopes on and thought, this is going to be amazing, I can't wait until I experience that. Usually there are loads of things that happen around that, and they usually involve interactions with other people.
Yeah, that's really the way I want to talk about this. Okay. I think there's an objective right way to do a bucket list and a wrong way to do it. And I think there's going to be a lot of people listening to this that identify with the idea of bucket lists. It's an attractive concept.
Yeah.
But I think the absolute correct way is to write down a list of places or things or experiences that speak to you on a visceral level.
In perfect Hindi.
And then you try to plan your travels loosely around those trips. So for example, you want to see the salt flats in a uni. So you know that when you're in South America, you'll hit up those salt flats and have a bucket list experience. But that is its impact on your trip in South America. You're still going to explore South America how you normally would.
Yeah.
You just so happen to be doing a bucket list fulfilling item while you're there.
So I've got a point to make. And I do think that's a really healthy approach to a bucket list, and a much better one. I think overall it will definitely be a greater experience of travel.
Because the wrong way to do a bucket list is to just pick a list of things that you think are supposed to be seen, supposed to be good, and just go see them and then leave.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I think everyone would agree with you. But what I am sort of worried about, or what an observation maybe that I've made, is that the people that do have bucket lists tend to be people that don't necessarily travel full time.
Right.
You know,
and by proxy, they're just like seeing the Taj.
Yeah.
And then they're going back home.
They don't have a lot of time. Right. So maybe that's something, I don't know, write us an email if that's correct or not. It's just an observation that I've made when I talk to people about things like bucket list. Oh, I'd love to do this and I'd love to do that and I'd love to do this and I'd love to do that. And it's like, yeah, but you're still doing your Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job that you despise.
Yeah, exactly. And the bucket list item for India would be the Taj Mahal, right?
I think
like
so.
The stereotypical one.
Is it? Here's the question that we all want to know the answer to. Is it the best thing you've done in India?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
But that's always going to be the case for these bucket list items. I kind of really wanted to see the Taj Mahal. I don't have a bucket list, but if I did have one, maybe see the Taj Mahal or see all 7 wonders would be on it.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to go to the Taj Mahal. But if that was my only thing in India and then I left, I'd be left with a very different, unrealistic, false impression of India. So I just think from that perspective, bucket lists can be really reductive.
I know. I do also think, and I'm included in this, because if you pose the same question, I think I'd panic with no response, is that we're quite susceptible and impressionable. And even if the main reason why someone was to come to India was to see the Taj Mahal, if you said, oh, that's amazing, why? They might not have an answer. Like, what do you know about the Taj Mahal?
You're so right.
Oh, I saw it on a blog.
The reason you want to see it is because someone's told you should want to see it.
Yeah. That's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, rarely do people's answers to that go, oh, I'm really interested in Indian architecture pertaining to kind of making this great big monument to my deceased wife. I think that's a really romantic story. I really wanted to see the Taj Mahal for that reason. No, that's not why you want to see Taj Mahal. The reason you want to see Taj Mahal is because you've seen the Taj Mahal on the television.
Yeah.
Innit? Yeah,
no. That is definitely the reason why.
Which is valid. Because everyone, it's valid because that's why I wanted to see the Taj Mahal. That's why I wanted to see, I had an idea that I wanted to see the salt flats because someone showed me a picture very early on in my travels.
Yeah.
I think those are all valid. We're not criticizing it, but just don't make that your sole motive whilst traveling. It isn't a motive.
No, it's really not. And yeah, if you start to dig a little bit deeper, maybe you do completely different things. I mean, even that in isolation is quite a scary thought.
Right.
How much are we doing just because we think we should be doing it?
I've got a great example of one of those activities.
Go on.
Swimming with dolphins.
Have you got a sound effect you can put in there in post?
I can do it live.
That wasn't a real dolphin.
Yeah, swimming with dolphins.
Mm.
Why do you want to swim with dolphins?
We're talking specifically in captivity, right?
Totally.
Right.
Totally. And I'm like, obviously, majestic mammals of the sea, beautiful, kindly, bottlenose friends, capable of smiling, capable of jumping through a hoop. Dolphins are lovely, but a captive dolphin that you want to swim with because why? Because you've been told that swimming with dolphins is this amazing experience. That's the reason. Yeah. What do you know about dolphins? You don't know anything about them. You just want to be with them because you've seen them on the TV. They're cool. I like dolphins as well. And if you're out there swimming in the open water, in the wild, and a pod of dolphins comes and swims next to you and you have that experience, all power to you. Send me a direct message on Instagram at tripologypodcast or an email, tripologypodcast@gmail.com, because I want to hear from you. Sounds amazing. You could tell me, you could wax lyrical about the majesty of that experience, and I am here for it. I will listen. But if you've paid an exorbitant amount of money to go in what essentially amounts to a swimming pool in order to have your bucket list experience because it's your dream, by the way, at the expense of the dolphins' well-being, by the way, those dolphins, however much they're smiling for the camera, they're not in it to swim with humans. They don't want to swim with humans. They're not thinking, God, isn't it amazing that my bucket list as a dolphin aligns with the human's bucket list because I want to swim with humans so much.
Yeah, I fail to believe that these dolphins are living their best life.
Swimming with dolphins on your bucket list. I mean, look, it's not for me.
No. And it wouldn't be for me for that reason. The aforementioned being out swimming in the ocean and a pod of dolphins turns up, amazing.
Yeah.
That, have your fill.
But what's beautiful about that is the fact that it's unlikely.
And it's nature.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
actually just happened. You
Yeah.
can pay to force an experience, and there's times where that can be ethical, and there's times where it's not. I've had amazing experience with animals that I've spent money on, like a safari in Africa. That's also on some people's bucket list. There's a way to do it ethically.
Yeah.
But I mean, because that's another thing. Oh, I paid money as an ethical company. I swim with dolphins, and it was great. The dolphins were happy. Were they? Were they happy? Because how can you guarantee that they were there and swimming with you? Were they really happy? It was a dolphin sanctuary, was it?
Yeah. I don't know a lot about this, but do they have to be saltwater swimming pools?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
No, well, there is such a thing as a freshwater dolphin,
Oh, right.
a
Good.
Mekong dolphin, but I don't think those are the ones they're using. I think oftentimes they're in what amounts to an enclosure of sorts. Or they're like baited to coming with like copious amounts of food so that you don't have to hunt anymore,
So there's no chlorine in the pool. It's not like, oh, look, the dolphin's smiling. Yeah, but he's got bloodshot eyes.
Is that rust on the dolphin? Yeah. No, I think rarely are those dolphins the healthiest, happiest dolphins in the world. But I mean, prove me wrong. Write into me. If you've got a company, swimwithdolphins.com.
Yeah, I would like to think that the majority of people listening to this podcast, even if they have swum with dolphins in that context, maybe it was anticlimactic and they thought better of it, or if it was the best thing you've ever done, also send us an email.
Yeah. We love things like that on the podcast, don't we? People who go, oh, it's my dream though, to ride an elephant.
Yeah.
But I understand it's unethical to tranquilize a tiger, but it's my dream to take a picture with a tiger. I want to do it. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, we've touched a nerve now, guys. It's animal welfare.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting all spicy on the pod. But yeah, okay, bucket list.
Yeah, so other things that we could mention, of course, are things like skydiving and bungee jumping.
Don't have a problem with that. If you have that experience on your bucket list,
Have you done it?
I've bungee jumped. I've never skydived.
Where did you bungee jump?
I bungee jumped off of what used to be the highest bungee jump in the world. It's in South Africa. It's off a bridge.
Is it Victoria Falls by any chance?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Well,
But it's been beaten now by a bungee in Macau and a bungee. I believe there's a bungee in India, maybe, or Nepal. That's
Yeah, I could believe that. I mean, where I'm going with this, guys, is that a bungee jump or skydiving doesn't appeal to me in the slightest.
Isn't it difference like that makes the world go round? Some people, it's their dream, it's on their bucket list, nonplussed. Well,
I remember feeling like I was getting a bit of a dressing down from a fellow backpacker a few years ago.
Because you didn't like to bungee jump or skydive?
Well, was I at home? I can't remember if I was in the UK or not. Probably was. But basically we were having a conversation about how much we had travelled. Not me and you, but me and them. Oh, yeah, you like travelling? Oh, yeah, backpacking. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Oh, have you done a skydive in New Zealand? And I said, no, I haven't. And also, I don't think I'll ever do a skydive. They were like, I thought you said you're a traveller.
Oh, scared.
You've got a travel podcast and you haven't even done a skydive in New Zealand. And
no interest.
It's weird how this hierarchy of activities, it's kind of put up on a pedestal, if you will.
Yeah.
And I mean, what the reason is, okay, sure, it's anxiety, it's catastrophic thinking. If I really enjoy something, I would like the chance to do it again, even if it goes wrong.
Ah, okay, right.
And with skydiving,
tries.
Yeah, with skydiving and bungee jumping, spoiler alert, if it goes wrong, you're gonna die.
9 times out of 10.
And if you don't die, you won't want to be alive
for at least a few months.
I can promise you that if you don't die after a bungee jumping incident, it's not going to be good, really, is it? So I know that, yes, you can throw some stats at me. You can say, oh, it's just as dangerous getting on a plane.
You're more likely to be kicked to death by a donkey than die in a skydiving incident. That statistic, by the way, touted often.
Yeah.
in a time where donkeys were, those statistics heavily weighted towards a time when donkeys were much more prevalent in society.
Yeah. When people throw those stats out, I say, do you know what? The chances of me dying from a skydiving incident, if I don't ever do skydiving, is absolute zero.
It is.
I'm in control of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just went through the motions. I was thinking, surely I can't be writing off skydiving and bungee jumping for the rest of my life, because so many people say it's the best thing they've ever done. But people that do it for the first time, they must convince themselves and be fearless, because even if I convince myself that it was going to be completely safe, I'm just not sold on the idea at all.
I liked it from the perspective of, I think you have to like overcome your own mortality when you're bungee jumping. You're like throwing yourself off the bridge.
Yeah.
But I had anxiety when I was about to do it. I said to the guy, listen, between you and me, are you sure that you've done your job properly? And he went, you're the safest man in Africa. Jump. And that stuck with me. I don't know why. I don't know what was so poetic or kind of dynamic, emphatic about what he said, but it really stuck with me.
I've just had another thought, and this might be, I'm sure you're going to squash this immediately, because there's no way you haven't thought about this before. But on planes, like commercial flights, they have life jackets under the seat. Why don't they have parachutes?
It's something that people often say. I've heard that before. I think
I just thought of it now. I thought surely that would be more useful.
Very expensive, a parachute.
Okay.
And also like have to be expertly packed.
And deployed.
And people don't know how to use it.
Okay. Yeah, well, now it's unraveling.
And oftentimes, imagine the panic, because like oftentimes a pilot will try an emergency land a plane on water or something. Imagine if people had access to a parachute. Like the plane's going down, the pilot's like, okay, we're going to try and land in water.
Yeah.
How many people are kicking down the exit and jumping out with a parachute? Like, not me. I'm not landing on the water.
Yeah. I don't know what the stats would say in that scenario, but I don't like flying either. Really. I know.
You don't, do you?
I don't. I would say I like to. I like to say no. I always prefer to travel overland, but it's really because I'm shit scared of flying.
Nice. Well, that is a good reason, and you reduce your carbon emissions and save the planet.
And you increase the number of interactions, which I think is absolutely imperative to having an amazing experience.
Yeah, and you decrease your number of interactions with airlines, which is absolutely imperative. So, listen, bucket lists, I think what we're saying is, can be a great tool for fun travel, can set purposes in mind, can make sure you see the things that you're really invested and passionate about seeing.
However, maybe reduces the amount of spontaneity.
Yeah, so don't rely on them. Don't just travel to tick off a bucket list above all else.
And don't beat yourself up if you don't achieve those things.
Yeah.
There can be negative aspects to them as well. So
don't worry about it too much. And definitely, if you're going to put experiences on your bucket list, I mean, come on. Use your brain. Come on.
Use your brain. Sound like my dad.
Come on.
Come on, use your brain.
All right, well, with that, let's go off on a beautiful meditation break, because I just need to calm down. Animal welfare. Let's meditate on it for a while. See you in a bit. And like a biryani cooked up and served to a family of 4, our conscious mind returns into our brain box. Adam, what have you got for me?
Well, it's been a few weeks, mate. We haven't done one, but I think it's most people's favourite item on the podcast. It's Tripping Point.
Oh my God. Play the theme music.
Tripping Point.
The item that gives me anxiety.
Yeah, it's about the only thing that does. I mean, what I've done for you this week, mate, it's a little bit of a different one. It's a curveball, you might say. It's actually a tripping point about me, and it's going to test how well we know each other.
How well I know you?
Yeah.
How well you know me? Seems one-sided.
Well, I think it's also a test of how well I know you, because I reckon you're going to get every single one correct.
Okay, well, we know that with Tripping Point, we need a steak.
A steak?
Cup of chai. I want you to buy me a chai tomorrow if I get 3 or more.
Okay, just 1 cup of chai. Just for some context, guys, a cup of chai costs the equivalent of 10 English pence.
We can build on it. Let's go start with a cup of chai. I think a cup of chai.
Yeah.
How about 3 or more? Okay. Or 5. A week's worth of chai.
A week's worth. You want it to be chai oriented. There's no dinner. There's no
no.
night in an Airbnb. A night in an Airbnb.
No, I don't need that. Just the chai. Let's go.
Okay, nice one. So the first question is, and it's all vaguely travel related, as is the podcast. If someone was to ask me, what is the best place on Earth? What would I say?
The best place on Earth?
Yeah, it's multiple choice.
Are you talking about the flat fish, a place?
No, I'm talking about maybe me when I was happiest.
Oh.
When I think back to the last 10 years of my travel and living around the world, which place, when I think of it, gives me the most joy? So these are your three options.
Okay.
I'll be interested to know whether you can think of any at the moment. They're quite specific places.
I've got a few ideas.
Okay, so the first one is the wine region of Burgundy in France, where I was very lucky to work back in 2019. I've been there a few times. Absolutely love it.
Clue. Lucky, but not happy. Two very different things.
No, I was lucky and in pain.
Yeah.
The second one is Naramata, which is a beautiful little village where I've just spent the last 3 years.
Yeah, notably not there now.
No, not there now. However, I have spent more time there than anywhere else in the last 10 years.
Okay.
So,
this is nice. The audience is getting to know you a bit as well.
Not to derail you, but if you haven't been, do go there. It's exceptionally beautiful. And then the third option is Happy Valley Racecourse in Hong Kong.
Happy Valley Racecourse?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that.
But what would you like to know?
I want to know why it's the happiest place you've ever been.
Is that your answer?
I think so. My process of elimination, I think it might be.
Right. It wasn't the massive grin on my face when I said it.
Yeah.
I think it was because of my routine. I used to get up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning.
So I was right.
You are right, yeah. And you've never been there. And I don't know if you went there, you would go, oh, right, now I completely understand why Adam feels this way.
Yeah.
But there's a horse racetrack. It's a big grandstand and that kind of thing in Happy Valley, which is kind of near Causeway Bay, if you've heard of that in Hong Kong on the island. Fairly central. And it's a horse racetrack. And then, like I said, a big grandstand. It's got a running track inside. And then it's got football pitches and tennis courts and stuff in the middle.
Nice.
And these kind of outdoor gymnasiums, if you will. But it's completely surrounded by high-rise office blocks and apartment blocks. And then backs onto mountains and forests. It, honestly,
it's beautiful.
Is exceptional. I remember the first time I went there, I was just standing in the middle of the field doing 360s thinking, where the fuck am I?
And why is this the happiest I've ever been? I'm ecstatic. The dopamine rushing through my brain.
I went there so often, and I went there to get away from the hustle and bustle as well, because it's right in the middle of one of the most sort of compact, dense cities in the world. Super, super busy. But you go there, and it's like a weight lifts off your shoulders. You can go for a run, you exercise, you meet fantastic people. It's beautiful to look at, and it's such a stark contrast, right, being in the middle of a racetrack with the mountains and the trees and just do it, guys.
Beautiful answer. I like it.
Love it.
Nice.
So that's the reason why. Now you know. This one may be a little bit tricky. Question number two
okay,
is, if I was asked the question, where have you received the most hospitality, let's say, of anywhere you've been in the world? Which people have been the warmest and most welcoming to you? Where do you think that'd be?
Where would that be? What country? Got to think about this one. I do think I have an intuition as to what the answer might be. I know you quite well. We've been friends for a few years now.
We have.
We've talked a lot about your time in... Like, I know you love Canadian people. They're polite. They're lovely. But I'm going back to that one story that you told early on in the pod.
Right.
About sort of that woman, that old Russian woman ringing her daughter, and her whipping you around and showing you around. So
whipping me around? That doesn't sound hospitable. Yeah, sounds kinky, if anything.
Nice. Nice to be whipped around by a young Russian woman.
Okay, cool.
So I think I'm going to say Russia.
Yeah, it is Russia. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And I mean, I hate to say that might be a surprise to some people.
Why? Because they have an erroneous perspective?
Well, no, I just think lots of people see people from Eastern Europe as being...
stern.
Yeah, like giving quite sort of a cold feeling or whatever. But my God, have I got some amazing friends. And I just had an incredible time while I was there. People just go over and above all the time.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really moving. I mean, I had just wonderful experiences everywhere I went in the dead of winter.
Yeah, amazing. Do you think that the extreme cold brings people together?
Yeah, I certainly do. I mean, I got questioned a lot when I was on the train. People saying, why on earth are you doing this in the middle of winter? Russian people wouldn't do it in the middle of winter, so what are you doing? And I didn't really have an answer.
The answer was, I'm crazy.
That's the reason why. I just want to be different. I just want to be interesting.
I like it. I hate to say it, Adam, but if you so much as fail to dupe me with one more question, you'll be out of 10 rupees.
Yeah, cup of chai coming your way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wonder if this question is going to throw you because of your subjective feeling towards the answers. So it's multiple choice again.
Yeah.
Don't be governed by that. Just remember,
Okay.
You know me. You know me well.
Don't be governed by my subjective feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the question is,
which Central American country is the most shit?
What's A? Belize. B? Belize. C? Belize. No, so the question is, if I had to eat as one of my 3, 6, however many meals we have a day, if one of them had to be consistent for the rest of time, if I had to eat one thing for the rest of my life every day, which dish would that be? And your answers are laksa,
Right.
which I think you like.
Yeah. Bourdain's one of Bourdain's favourite dishes. Anthony Bourdain.
I would say almost inarguable. A great laksa can be life-changing.
Sort of like a molten sort of dish, isn't it? It's like famous in Penang.
Yeah. Super fragrant, coconut. I mean, it's just absolutely delicious. Go and have one. Or a papaya salad. Difficult for me to say. All the peas, papaya salad. Yeah. You've had a good one, have you?
I've had a good papaya salad.
Good, excellent. Or a Neapolitan pizza. Also pretty difficult to say.
Yeah. Look, listen. Hey, whoa. Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah. If I may.
Yeah.
So that's basically, for all intents and purposes, maybe a margarita. And then if you got some anchovies around, sure, chuck them on.
Is it defined by the thin crust, Napolitana?
So we're talking about the style of pizza from Naples. So there you go. That's the style. It's not one of these bloody deep dish, whatever. Yeah. And just authentic, original, as it comes, blistered edge.
Love it. I'm going to rule it out. Because I know European food for you isn't top of your list. I know you love it.
Yeah.
But I know that the answer to this is going to be an Asian food.
Okay.
A la the laksa or the papaya salad.
I like it. Okay. Process of elimination.
Wasn't papaya salad, was it?
My favourite.
No, was that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
All the peas.
No, I know that papaya salad's your favourite food. I know it because I've heard you. I listened to you talking to other people, and I've heard you wax lyrical about the papaya salad. So, with confidence, give me my chance. It's a papaya salad.
Yeah, you're right. Of course you're right. And if you've had an amazing one, or if you disagree, maybe send us an email. tripologypodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your food preferences, because we love talking about food.
Well, papaya salad is not the sweet papaya, is it? It's
no. Yeah, it's green papaya.
Explain that for people.
Yeah, so it's green papaya, usually chopped up with, I've seen it with a meat cleaver.
Wow.
They almost like shred it. And then it's got all your fish sauce and your, all your other bits and bobs. It's a little bit sweet as well. It's usually got peanuts, some dried shrimp. For me, it's got it all. It's got texture because it's crunchy. It's sweet. There's acid there as well. It's super spicy, and it's got that kind of fermented taste as well, especially up in the north. It's salty as well. You
can't beat it.
It is perfect.
Sorry, Bourdain.
It is perfect. And I think a very, very good one hits the brief in such a way that I struggle to think of anything else that is as good.
Love it. So let's build on it, mate. Because right now, you're just 1 cup of chai down. But there's a potential to be 7 days worth of chai down.
Okay.
So let's continue on. Question 4. At the moment, we're on a clean sweep.
Okay. Question 4. It's a strong one. It's a little bit morbid. I had a near-death experience in Borneo in 2019. What happened?
In Borneo in 2019, you had a near-death experience. Okay, these are the things I know happened to you in Borneo.
Yeah.
You got lost when you arrived there and saw a clouded leopard. I'm going to assume that you don't count that as a near-death experience.
No, I would say that, yeah,
Clouded leopard.
that wouldn't constitute a near-death experience.
Okay, you came face to face with
Because I didn't nearly die.
Yeah. That's almost probably. You came face to face with an orangutan and met it.
Yeah, and cried at the same time.
But that's not near death, is it? Unless you were very low on fluids.
No, I didn't
You
nearly
couldn't
die
afford the moisture.
either. No.
Near death experience in Borneo. Look, I know that there's a story about you nearly getting decapitated on a motorcycle. But I think that happened in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've told my mum that story yet, so maybe we'll edit that out.
But that's the only thing that's the only intuition I would have.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that happened to you in Vietnam.
It did. We'll tell that story at some point.
So I don't know is the answer. I'm going to lose a cup of chai here, but I mean, I don't know anything about your time in Borneo. Did you fall off the boat on the way?
No, but it does involve being underwater.
Was it a scuba diving experience?
Yeah.
Did you nearly drown while scuba diving?
Yeah, I was very close to drowning.
I mean, how do we mark that?
Yeah, well, maybe a large cup of chai. You know, the previous one, we'll turn it into a large. It's half a point there. But yeah, we will have to tell that story because it was very, very traumatic. But basically, my regulator came out my mouth at 17 meters, depth of 17 meters.
Could you not get it back in?
It's easy to say that, isn't it? Like, of course, I know what to do in order.
An orangutan put it in their mouth. Every man for itself.
It was the third dive of the day. I was exhausted. The visibility was terrible. The sediment was kicking up. I couldn't see. I'd lost my dive buddy, who was far more experienced than I was. The reg came out of my mouth, and then I started swallowing water immediately, 17 meters under. Which, by the way, Alan, is pretty fucking deep.
You were panicking.
Yeah, big time.
To say.
And I was just swallowing water, and it was. I know you shouldn't, but I kicked to the top, and I was vomiting, and I sort of started going dizzy, etc. So I think a couple of minutes either side, I would have been in real trouble.
Listen, I don't want to clutch at straws, but I said, did you fall off the boat?
Yeah.
I think jumping off a boat into the water and then immediately losing your reg is essentially the same as falling off a boat. You basically fell off a boat in scuba gear and started to drown. So I think this next question should be for all the marbles.
Okay, yeah. Well, let me counter that with saying, in which world do you fall off a boat and nearly die?
In the world that you live in Borneo.
No, I mean, after that I nearly died, but it wasn't the fall off the boat that would have killed me, because you'd normally fall into water.
Yeah.
Which might break your fall.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
Unless it was frozen solid and this story still happened in Russia in the dead of winter.
There you go. But do you accept my terms? Can we do this next question for a week's worth of chai?
Let's do it. Okay. Let's do it.
Here we go. Accept your bravery.
Okay. This one is actually quite dear to my heart.
Okay.
So
is it difficult?
I don't know. I don't think. It depends how well you know me.
Quite well.
My dad will get this one right.
All right.
The fifth and final question is, what did I want to be when I grew up?
Oh.
When I was a really young child,
I
had big dreams of being something.
Okay.
And I want to know whether you know what that is.
Okay. All right. Okay. Nice. Like it.
Could be difficult.
I know you came to travel quite late in your life, like the idea of it, the concept of it. So not that. Late in your life, I mean like 23 or something, right? But it wasn't an early aspiration.
No, I didn't fall in love with travel, certainly not the way that we do and living around the world, until much later.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I think a young Adam Cousins.
Yeah, a young Adam Cousins.
Yeah. Is that the first time we ever said your surname on the podcast?
I mean, our Instagram's linked to my personal anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it at all, guys.
Okay, nice. I reckon you were a lad's lad a little bit.
Okay,
I think you were one of the boys.
One of the boys.
One of the geezers. Do you think we'd have got on when we were kids?
I mean, I didn't know what you were like when you were a kid, so I've got no idea.
Bespectacled nerd.
Yeah, I'm a couple of years older than you as well, so that, back then, that makes a difference. Now, it doesn't matter too much. I mean, we're similar levels of maturity, but, when you're really young, those few years do make a big difference. So,
well, look, I think I know the answer.
Do you really?
I think so, because I think when I was in Canada, I sort of lived your life a little bit, and I went to see you do something which I could see you were very passionate about.
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure whether you're going to be on the right path.
Oh, really?
I wonder
Is it not footballer?
No. No, I mean, I definitely wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah.
I was made very aware when I was young that I wasn't good enough.
Oh. Oh, that's the answer. No? Okay, I thought you wanted to be a footballer.
I'll throw you a lifeline.
Okay.
Something the guy.
Can I call your dad?
Yeah. something that the throw you a lifeline. Something that the guy driving the boat didn't do to me in Borneo. But what I'll do is I'll let you know that we have actually done this together.
My God.
The thing that I wanted to be when I grew up, we've done together. I would say it's even how we met.
Did you want to be a farmer?
I wanted to be a farmer, Alan.
That's so sweet. Did you?
Yeah, I just wanted to be a farmer and look after animals.
Oh,
And can you believe
that's made me like you a bit more.
I achieved my childhood dream with you?
Oh, man. Maybe that's why we're such good friends. Maybe you associate me with the dopamine release of achieving a childhood dream.
So everything that we're doing now is just a bonus.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, well, certainly, look, you defeated me in the latter half. I think 1 cup of chai, large, is about fair.
Okay, nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it. I think I got to learn about you. The audience got to learn about you.
Yeah, and they got to learn my last name.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's never say mine. Amazing.
Yeah, cool. All right,
Beautiful.
wicked. Well,
That was Tripping Point. I liked it. You liked it. And most importantly, we all liked it. Listen, guys, we're on Instagram at tripologypodcast. If you've made it to this far in the episode, you're a fan.
and we appreciate you immensely.
We
Thanks
do.
ever so much for your support.
So follow us on Instagram. We've got YouTube, youtube.com/@tripologypodcast. And please send us an email if you've got any travel questions or you just want to connect with Adam and I. It is tripologypodcast@gmail.com. But right now, we're going to go to the Patreon section. A little bit of extra content just for the Patreonees. We'll see you there.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you there, guys. All the best. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.